What is going on, guys? SKITZ here, back with my 6th coffee talk and update to jewel crafting right now. What's going on with the market? Why are the prices hitting the floor? But before we get into this, I wanted to thank you guys so much for surpassing 4,000 subscribers again on YouTube. It is the 15th of December, and we're going to hop into this video and cover 3 main topics in this coffee talk. So if this is your first episode of Coffee Talk with SKITZ, basically what happens is this is different from my short and sweet guides. This is for you to put on in the car or at the gym, or if you have a commute, or 15, 20, 30 minutes, sometimes an hour to kill. This is made for you. So sit back, relax, enjoy the content, and if you have any questions, as usual, put them in the comments below, and we as a whole will knock them out as quickly and as efficiently as possible, guys. So it's the 15th of December. The holidays are fast approaching. Let's hop into this jewel crafting update and let's get going. All right, guys, the 3 topics we're going to talk about in this coffee talk in order. Number 1, why are prices currently like this? Why have all of the uncut and cut gems hit rock bottom? The Saber's Eye, just the materials in general, the Fury Stone, Pandemonites, the Dawn Lights, you guys name it. What's going on with that? Why have not only Fell Slate, Laystone Ore, all of those prices fallen, but why have the general materials for jewel crafting? What's going on with them? We'll talk about that. Then we're going to talk about what changes I've made and what changes I currently recommend you guys to make to keep the cash cow, flowing with jewel crafting. So I know in the first month of jewel crafting, a lot of people were, messing around with it, but they weren't capped out at level 800 to pull in the good, crazy gold with the Saber's Eye, because it took a lot of gold to level up to get to 800, and people were doing quests and mythics and progressing through Legion, so they really didn't take the time to level up first to 800, and those who did were making a killing. But now, fast forward a couple months into Legion, it's a little bit tougher to make gold, and I'm going to talk about the reasons why that's the case. And then finally, we're going to wrap it up with some of my favorite techniques, not only in trade chat but on the auction house, to push your gems a little bit quicker. So if you have an overstock of gems like I do, how to get rid of them and prepare you guys for the next patch. So sit back, relax, let's get into this. All right, guys, let's talk about the 3 major issues that are impacting everything relating to the jewel crafting market right now. So all of the mats, the gems, everything. We're going to start with what is having the greatest impact in my opinion, and we'll move down to the other 2 that are having an impact but are not too crazy. So the first and the biggest problem right now, in my opinion, is the blood of Sargeras Trader. So what do I mean by this? When Legion first dropped, okay, when you leveled up to 800, you got your Saber's Eye cuts, you were making a killing, because the only way to scoop up a ridiculous amount of Fell Slate and Laystone ore was to be a miner, right? So you could prospect it and you could obtain all of the gems that were rare to cut. And now we fast forward 2 months later, they issued the blood of Sargeras Trader, and now any schmuck off the block can go over, trade their bloods in for Fell Slate, Laystone ore, find a miner, find somebody to prospect it, or just buy the Laystone or Fell Slate with their bloods and list it on the auction house for close to nothing, just to get a quick flip of gold, because they know that they would get much more gold buying Fell Slate or Laystone or herbs or whatever at the time to push those on the auction house than to just sell their bloods outright, because you can't sell bloods, they're not BOE, they're bind on pickup. But you guys get the gist. So when the blood of Sargeras Trader got released, and just a stupid amount of Fell Slate and Laystone hit the market, because anybody could go in there, turn their bloods in, scoop up ore, put it on the auction house, and then jewel crafters, miners like myself and a million other people were on there scooping up ore and just mass prospecting just the absolute SHIT out of the ore. So I hope that kind of makes sense why there's a lot of felslate, laystone, and gems on the market. That, in my opinion, is the biggest reason. So the second issue is just simply there's a lot more players, and a lot more players that have shared knowledge that Legion has been out for a couple months now. So previously, in the first month of Legion, you leveled up your main, you had, 2 professions on them, and then you were just grinding out to make sure that your main was endgame ready and was a stud pretty much. Now fast forward a couple months later, people have multiple tunes that are 880 plus item level. They got multiple professions, and also they're on MMO and Reddit and YouTube and all kinds of, sites like that, just looking at free information like you're getting now on what I should level up to make a lot of gold. So a lot more players with a lot more information leads to more jewel crafters, more 800 jewel crafters, more miners, a lot more people investing their time and their money and their gold into the jewel crafting market. I guess you can be thankful you don't have people personally transferring over to your realm, adding you on their friends list on your server's economy, and then every time you go live, stream snipe you and undercut you on the spot. Gems or uncut and cut. Could always be worse, guys. Last but not least, the botters are back, ladies and gentlemen. Yes, you heard it here first. About a month ago, Blizzard banned the Warden, did a purge through World of Warcraft, through Legion, and sniped a lot of accounts that were botting. So the prices, everything went back to normal, and it was worthwhile. It literally made you want to go out and farm and put the time in to do some gathering professions, because you knew that when you came back you could prospect, there wouldn't be a massive amount of ore and gems and literally everything relating to jewel crafting and mining or herbing or any gathering profession, because there wasn't a lot of it on the auction house. You know what I mean? You got rewarded for actually taking the time to go out and spend time herbing or mining or gathering, and you could come back and sell it at a decent price. So now, fast forward a month later, the botters are back. I'm not sure what more we can do. The reports are helping, people are saying now, but as far as Blizzard knowing who is cheating, I think it's pretty cut and dry. They just have to wait. We have to wait for another ban wave. So with that being said, there's nothing we can do about that. All the gathering professions and all of the professions that accompany gathering professions are taking a huge hit with this, because jewel crafting is only profitable if the gems are scarce. You can, reset markets, and there isn't millions and millions of gems on the auction house. So those are the top 3 reasons that the prices of gems, cut and uncut, are falling. Now let's move into what changes I've made and I would love you guys to make to get back on the gold train with jewel crafting. The most important thing about making gold, and a lot more gold now in the current state of jewel crafting, is being able to craft Saber's Eye. This is hands down the best way to make gold right now, because number one, think about all of the excess fell slate and laystone ore. You're going to be able to prospect all of that and land on gems that you need. So there's going to be a massive amount of all of your 150 stat gems. So your sapphires, for an example, your dawn lights, your Eye of Prophecy, if you guys notice, are like dipping below 1,000 gold now, because a lot of people, like I said, with the blood of Sargeras Trader, are dumping all of the ore on the auction house. People are buying it up, mass prospecting it, and just flipping it immediately just for the quick buck. That and botters are doing the same thing. They're just dumping all of their gems, their 150 stat gems. So why is being an 800 jewel crafter so important? Because with all of those gems being dumped on the auction house, Fury Stone and Pendemonite are also getting dumped. If you guys remember, when Legion first dropped, Saber's Eye were around 15,000, 20,000, gold per Saber's Eye. Now they're falling to 10,000 and below. Why is that? Because Pandemonites and Fury Stone, along with Infernal Brimstone and Fellward and a Blood of Sargeras, still is the materials to craft a Saber's Eye. Back in the day, back when Legion first dropped, the Pandemonite and the Fury Stones were, 9k and 5k a pop. All the gems were expensive. So all of the crafted gems were even more expensive. Now, everybody is prospecting. There's a lot more gems on the auction house. So taking the Fury Stone and the Pandemonite that are still really cheap now, along with all of the other uncut gems, all I'm doing is gobbling those up and then crafting them with all of my bloods that I either farm through heroics or skinning, and I just list those on the auction house. There's a lot less 800 jewel crafters than there are just regular jewel crafters that can take any uncut gem off the auction house, cut it, and list it up there. So I hope that makes sense. That is the biggest change that I made currently to be able to take full advantage of jewel crafting, because the skill level, like I preach in all my videos, is more important than actually having jewel crafting. Having 800 jewel crafting is where it's at, guys. So make sure you get your jewel crafting up to 800 immediately and start taking advantage of the Saber's Eye market, because the competition for relisting and posting on a daily basis is going to be a lot less, I guess, competition wise than the uncut and the cut market of the 150 stat gems. Second change is dialing back your undercutting. So with a plethora of gems, uncut and cut now on the auction house, there is no sense in sitting there for an hour and spam relisting gems over and over and over again, because the only thing that you're going to do is just drive that market into the ground. What I do now is I hop on, I list gems, which I'll go over in the last part of this coffee talk about how I like to list stacks, so on and so forth. But I list gems, I'll pop back on after a full listing in about 5 minutes, see if I'm undercut. I'll relist again, see if I'm undercut, and I'll do it a third time. And literally after 10 minutes, if I've been undercut more than 3 times, I let it chill. I'll take my gems off, I'll let it marinate, and I'll go back an hour later. And I promise you guys, you will find a window throughout the day, throughout 24 hours, you will find a window where you can sell your gems. Just relist at peak hours, and if you're getting undercut or you have a lot of competition, just chill out, let it marinate for a little bit, relist them at a different time. The worst thing you can do is getting a undercut and a bidding war with 4 other jewel crafters, and you take Eye of Prophecy. Let's do an example of Deadly Eye of Prophecy that start at 2,000 gold, and you and 3 other jewel crafters in 10 minutes undercut 3 gems a piece and run it down to 1,200 gold. So please do not do that. If you are having terrible luck on the auction house, sign off, take a breather, and relist at a different time. The last change I made is I started to explore other options with jewel crafting that got away from just the regular 150 stat gems, the uncut and cut, and the Saber's Eye. I know that in patch 7.1.5, the Obliterum is going to be raised from 8 to 10, so there's going to be 2 more slots of Obliterum. And what is considered one of the best ways to obtain Obliterum is obliterating the jewel crafting next. So with all of the cheap gems on the auction house, you could potentially just mass craft jewel crafting necks and obliterate those. Also, I search for all of the jewel crafting necks every single morning I wake up, just if I can, scoop any of those necks up for 1,000 gold or 1,500 gold. I know for a fact once you obliterate those, they're going to give you a minimum of around 110 plus obliterum ash. So one obliterum plus is one jewel crafting neck. So sometimes it's procced 150, 165 plus. Sometimes I think the lowest I've gotten, it's a random number, but is 111. So make sure you guys check into that. Don't tunnel vision just the gems. Make sure that you're checking out all of the green gems. You can obliterate them one by one and make a profit on, with those. And also the jewel crafting necks is a great way to make gold right now. Let's wrap up this coffee talk with a couple techniques and tips that I use currently in the state of jewel crafting to sell my gems. And the first tip is, everybody always asks me, what do I list my gems on the auction house, stack size, and so on and so forth? And the answer is both Saber's Eye and 150 stat gems like the Quick Dawn Light, stuff like that. I'm listing 2 stacks of 1. So I'm just putting up single stacks, 2 at a time. 1, because if I am another huge jewel crafter on my realm, I'm listing 6, 7, 8 stacks of 1, and I'm trying to push a massive amount of gems. If I only see somebody listed 2 gems below what I listed my 8 or 6 gems at, the chances of me taking all of those off or relisting is slim to none, because I'm thinking, you know what, just let those 2 sell really quick and push them out of the way, and then we'll get back to to mine selling. So that is the first reason, because if you start going crazy and listing 10 stacks of 1, you get undercut by somebody else listing, and then you list another 10. People are going to start to catch on. They're going to sit there and be like, all right, this guy's on the auction house with a lot of gems. I have some competition. So make sure you're listing small stacks, get rid of them, stay current, so when they sell, be right there to list them up again. Boom, boom. You know what I mean? So small stack sizes, 2 stacks of 1 for both Saber's Eye and your 150 stat gem. That is the first tip. The second tip currently right now in jewel crafting, in the state of jewel crafting now in the market, is making sure that you're keeping tabs on all of the individual gem markets. And I know that sounds like common sense, but I can't tell you how many times I was buying and selling and had extreme tunnel vision on Quick Dawn Lights and Dawn Lights and Shadow Rubies and Masterful Shadow Rubies, when the versatile Maelstrom Sapphires were selling for 2k gold, when the uncut, just regular Sapphires were selling for 200 gold because somebody reset that. So all of the gems, your haste, your mastery, your crit, your versatility, they all sell relatively well, and they're all consistent in selling. So make sure that you're dipping your hands into every single gem market, and you're checking the prices currently, and you're staying updated on what everything is selling for. The last tip I have for you guys deals with the window of opportunity, and what I think, in my opinion, is the best window to sell gems throughout the week, and that's Tuesday reset, because of a couple reasons. I think that on Tuesday there is no other better time to obtain free gear. And what do I mean by free gear? Tuesday is the only time that you can simply kill a world boss, have potential to get loot, use a bonus coin, have the potential to get loot. Tuesday is the only time after reset you can go to your cache, your chest in your class hall, open it up, and get a free piece of gear with a potential socket. So there's a lot of resets and brand new opportunities that arise on Tuesday reset that give you the best window to sell your gems, because when people have literally to do minimal effort to get gear on Tuesday reset, or the first hour on Tuesday reset, that's the best time to sell gems, because currently after this 2 months of jewel crafting through selling gems day in and day out from day 1 to now, I have noticed that Tuesday reset is the best window, is the best time to sell your gems, both Saber's Eye and your 150 stat gems. Answering 3 commonly asked questions all the time on my jewel crafting videos. Number 1 being, what's the best way to farm the blood of Sargeras? And there's 2 answers to that. I prefer putting together a stacked group and just spam farming random Legion heroics. That's my favorite way. Also, skinning from a gathering profession standpoint is the best profession to scoop up bloods, because however many nodes you farm per hour, pick per hour, however many herbs you pick per hour or mobs you skin per hour, will give you the chance to proc to be able to loot the blood of Sargeras. Number 2, where do I get the rank 3 neck recipes to push me from 780 to 800 jewel crafting? Spam Legion heroics was the old way to farm for this, and now most recently I've heard the best way to obtain the rank 3 neck recipes is through regular mythics, not mythic plus, but just your regular mythic dungeons. Knock those out throughout the week and they have a better chance of dropping through that. Last but not least, what prices are you buying certain gems at and then crafting them to make a profit? What do I do regarding the price? So the answer to that is it's going to vary realm to realm. What I do every single morning is I check on the auction house. I just link in the uncut version of the gem, so it brings up both the uncut and the cut, and I determine whether, if it's a 1,000 gold gap between the uncut and the cut version, then I will craft it and put it up. I hope this coffee talk helped. This update on the jewel crafting market helped. If it did and you have not subscribed already, make sure you do that. I will put a link, a button in the bottom left hand corner. Also, there is a giveaway that is going to be happening in 10 days. Make sure you guys check that out. There will be 8 total winners. I am giving away 40,000 gold to 4 individual people and then 4 mounts to another 4 people. So 8 total winners, because nobody likes doing a giveaway and just giving one person loot or game time or mounts or pets or so on and so forth. So with that being said, I love you guys to death. If you have any questions, again, put them in the comments below. I will knock them out as quickly and as efficiently as possible. If you guys appreciate these gold talks, if you guys love these coffee talks, it would mean the world to me if you would share it with one of your other gold goblins. I will see you guys in the next video, in the next coffee talk. Have a great day. I'm out of here. Peace.